This is definitely one of my favorite topics. And, as I hear all of you guys talking, I'm doing bits and pieces of what all of you are doing. And, there's success that can be had whether you do certain things a certain way. Carlos is definitely more like hardline. Cameron's actually not Cameron, sorry. Carlos is more like, let's go, let's sign the contract, let's do this today. Where I'm very the opposite. I went to a Mike Ferry event 20 years ago, and I left kind of feeling like, man, these guys, they're all like robots saying the same thing. And so my strategy was to do the exact opposite from day one. And so I came into appointments with just very no pressure. And, like Matt, I would find out as many questions as possible. But unlike Matt likes to be last. I actually like to be first because I want to go in there and close on that first appointment as much as possible. And because if I say I want to be last, well, I might not get to be last. I might not make it there because somebody else closed. I've had those calls in the past where they said, people have called me and said, hey, we already went ahead and went with somebody, so we're going to cancel our appointment. So ever since that time, I decided, let me be first, let me close. And some of the things that I would do is set landmines for other agents. So one of the examples would be, talking about buyers. I would show them my database with 15,000 buyers in it and say, look, I've got tons of buyers, but I don't want a single buyer in your home until we're actually on the market and ready to go, because I don't want to sell it myself. I want the whole world to see your property. My number one goal of the entire thing is to make my client feel like the equity is the most important thing. I'm the protector of your equity is something I always tell them. So in the phone call, the very first phone call, I'm finding out everything they can. I'm trying to send emails with information about the team before I go out. The more you can send them beforehand, a video, a marketing video. We've been using a thing called Cato, which is a pretty cool program that allows you to kind of put all these different things on it, and you can customize it with photos of their property. So it's kind of like a personalized marketing website. So on that first appointment, I always bring a gift, usually water bottle or a coffee mug. Some people will bring, apple pies, but be prepared to eat some of that apple pie and watch your waist grow if you do. So don't, that's why I don't do that. But I always like to start with a tour of the home. I ask them questions about, what did you do to the property? What issues are with the property? Is there anything that needs to be addressed? I like Matt, I've got arrangements with people. I've even wrote checks and given advances for things to get done if need be, because the way I look at it is, if we're going to stay in this industry as tech grows, listing agents are going to be the most important thing, and we have to provide more services than ever before. We can't just sell the house. And so that's actually something I talk about, is we're here to manage the whole process. And I really sell our system. You're not just hiring one agent, you're hiring a whole system of people that are going to help you sell your house. And I sell the team approach, because if you have a top negotiator, that top negotiator doesn't want to knock on all the doors and do all the extra stuff, make the phone calls, circle prospecting around the listings. Like a brand new agent, I don't say brand new agent, but a newer agent. And so I talk about the hunger of my team. We got 24 agents on the team now. And so we're all going to be helping to get the word out about your listing. And then we show them the marketing stuff that we do. We're always doing videos and 3D tours and all that stuff. But in the tour is really where I win the listing. I just, you listen to them, you have a good conversation, make sure you got the eye contact, let them talk a majority of the time. And then you just got to come off as somebody who really cares about what their needs are. And again, I just sell the ease of how the process is going to be and make people feel comfortable. I do a 2-system approach. I don't like to talk about price of the home on that first listing meeting, because I don't want them picking me because of the price. And so I actually just sit there, I go through everything, I go through our marketing, we may talk about commission, we'll talk about the process. And I tell them, just like an appraiser would, appraisers are going to come over to your property and they're going to look at the property first and then go look at the comps, because there's so many details in a home, especially like in your more unique communities. Obviously, there's some communities that it's very easy to price it out, and I might just go on do a one trip, but I actually don't even make a second trip on that. What I'm doing is I go over 20 to 30 minutes, sit down with them, and then I go back, do the CMA, put together the CATO, send that to them, and I do a bomb video walking them through the comps. By the time we've already done that, they've really already picked me. And then it's just a matter of sending over the paperwork once we decide on the price. One of the things I am selling at the appointment is pricing at 3 to 5% below the comps, because then you're creating that bidding war. And then the other thing I'm selling is 7 days of marketing, 4 days of showings, and then a bidding war starting Tuesday at 10. I always say this is not a race, because it isn't. This is their equity. Realtors want to make it a race, and they want to sell your house. They want to double end it. They want to do all these things. So I'm actually the anti-realtor to a lot of these on these appointments. I make it clear that I'm not here just like every other realtor. Why? Because we are just right above used car salesmen. So if you're walking in and you're basically using that used car salesman lingo, they're going to feel that. And so I hope, I hope I don't offend any of you guys who do the other stuff, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of ways to sell in this industry, and you got to work with or do what works best for you. This method has worked best for me, just has allowed me to close at a very high rate, probably over 90% of my listings that I go on. So it's actually my number one thing that I love to do the most out of anything that I do, is just going and on that first appointment and meeting with people and setting up the stage. Here's the best part. I usually don't even have to go back to the property maybe one more time right before it goes on the market, after the preparation's been done, might do some videos or something, but I'm not doing the open houses. My team is doing that. They're getting listings. And here's another thing that we've started to do is, I'm telling sellers that we'll door knock the neighborhood before their house goes on the market and offer the trade-in option to their neighbors. Because imagine if you're in a neighborhood that you absolutely love, but you don't have a view, and we've got a listing with a view, well, guess what? They would definitely want to do the trade-in. And so that's another way for us to get a hot buyer, and we can get them approved in 72 hours. So a little twist on it, and bringing in more people. Plus, at the open houses, the agents are talking about the trade-in as well, and utilizing that as a way to get people's information, to send them more information about it. So anyways, that's about it. Anybody have any questions?